It's crazy how much you can get out of somebody that, especially if they take good care of themselves and they're focused and driven.
Yeah.
I mean, age really is getting to be just a number.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting guys that are lasting into their 40s in professional sports.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just getting, physically better. They're getting more mental.
Themselves.
And
science is getting
science is kicking it. And then at the same time, the benefit of an older athlete is their mental toughness.
All right, back with another episode of Savage Association. Today I have on my head strength and conditioning coach, Rich Myers. Used to be with D1, now you're Faster Athletic Performance.
That's right.
So tell me about how you got started in athletics. Did you start right out of college or high school, or when you got done playing sports?
Started working in orthopedics probably my second year of college, doing nothing but knees, hips, and shoulders every day after school, just scrubbing.
Working on players or what?
General. And then kind of got teamed up with an orthopedic doctor that was more sports oriented, and he kind of sucked me more down the sports performance road.
Yeah.
Started working with more athletes, doing more things. After 2 years of being in orthopedic surgery, just kind of made my mind up. I wanted to spend more time with athletes, and started going after sports performance and strength and conditioning. That was all she wrote.
And you started out with golfers?
Actually started out with baseball players.
Baseball players?
And then we found out, kind of got hooked in with TPI out in Carlsbad, California in 2000. Titleist Performance.
Yeah.
That's the golf side. Got kind of hooked up with them in 2006 when they were trying to bring TPI out, and I was in that initial group that kind of started it in 2006. There was 10 of us, and there was a lot of the same mechanics for baseball that rolled over into golf. So there was a big comparison there, and I mean, it just fit perfect, and kind of took off from there. And I've always had a ton of golfers, do a lot with a lot of colleges, a lot of college players, and that's always been my sideline. But now it's gotten so diversified, it's crazy.
Yeah. So what did you end up getting your degree in?
My degree is actually in chemistry and biology of drugs. So,
and I was biological sciences.
And those were my my keys there, but. Really, I would say I learned the most when I got teamed up with Exos.
Yeah, and that's who you're certified under?
Yeah.
Explain what
Exos is kind of one of the leading physical therapy groups out there in the country. Got introduced to them through D1, did their Exos tactical training program, did their Exos performance program. Really, they're right now the cutting edge. They just have so much horsepower behind them because they have all three branches of the military.
Oh, damn.
And they are being funded.
If you're getting government money.
They got big time government money. And they're killing it. And they share their information. So they trickle it down as fast as they get it. So you're continuously learning with them, and it helps a lot.
So what do y'all go like seminars all the time? And you've been with them, what, 3 years, 2 or 3 years now?
6.
I thought you got it while I was training with you.
That was the big one, the Exos Performance one. But I've been doing, when we went in with D1, Exos was with us.
Got you.
So they were kind of our, PT side when I went in with D1.
Yeah. So you've worked with everybody from baseball, golf, me, Chase, Tyler, all kind of fighters, to NFL athletes. I mean, a bunch of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Name drop some people.
NFL wise, Mark Barron. He just retired
from Alabama.
From Alabama,
Pittsburgh and the Rams and everywhere.
Had Mac Jones last year, did his speed and performance, got him ready for the draft.
Daniel Jones.
Had Daniel Jones, and he's with the Giants now.
Was a buddy from quarterback
And then,
from Georgia.
Then Jake Fromm from Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a string of them.
Yeah.
And the one thing that is to me like a win factor across the board with your sport, being a quarterback or whatever, the more vertical force you can build in an athlete,
yes,
you can't do anything without vertical power.
And you're talking about like what, like from doing squats?
One, we want bar speed.
Yes.
We want the bar to move fast. We want your central nervous system to react as quick as it can.
Yes.
We want you to pull as much power out of the ground as possible. For
Yes.
you, it gets, you gauge center mass, you pull power out of the ground, and then you turn it into rotational force with a punch.
Yeah.
And the more you can pull out of the ground, the more you can deliver into an object.
Yes.
So to me, there are movements that can blunt speed, slow you down, kind of knock the edge off of you a
What
little
are
bit.
some of those?
Like to me, like slow static movements and the bar moving too slow,
So you just have too much weight on?
too much weight on the bar, it's gonna cave you down.
Yeah.
Strong is great, but strong is not gonna help you deliver a
Yeah.
900-pound punch.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna do it.
It might, but it's going to be way too slow to land.
Right. They're gonna get out of the way of it.
Yeah.
So, and then you also have to look at weight class too. A heavyweight's going to generate a lot of vertical force just because they're on body weight,
Yes.
where you have to rely on speed and pulling power to
Yes.
raise that pound per square inch.
I'm trying to hit like a heavyweight, but be my weight.
But be in your weight class.
Yeah.
So you've got to move extremely fast.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot to it, and making sure that an athlete is training in the right bar velocities, the right strength protocol, and not going too heavy, too slow.
And you recently got all that stuff to measure all that.
Yeah.
You've been using it with Chase. I haven't been able to train lately.
Yeah, I've been using the VBT unit, and we had a control group of 22 volleyball players for 6 weeks. We found their
high school, college.
High school. They're all elite volleyball girls. We started them on a 6-week program. The average vertical increase in 6 weeks by using VBT was 2 inches.
What's the VBT vertical?
Bar speed.
Got you. VBT. Got you.
Yeah. So
it was 6. Was how many inches?
2.
That's pretty good for 6 weeks.
For 6 weeks,
bro. If you're a basketball player, that's huge.
Yeah.
Volleyball player same.
Yeah, you got to think, if you're a volleyball player and hitting 10 on the front line is a D1 scholarship, and you just added 2 inches and you're getting up to 9, 10.
Yeah,
you're climbing.
That's the difference between being able to spike the ball at different angles and keep it in.
It's huge. It makes such a big difference. And just to me, it's to see them advancing at the speed they're advancing is incredible. And some of the high schools that I'm dealing with now, I'm trying to get them the funding to get VBT units in on their weight room so that skill players aren't doing what O-line, D-line are doing.
Yeah.
And, everybody's separate and trying to get the most out of them.
Don't even the linemen still in that fast power push or does the speed really matter as much?
Yeah, they still need it. They need it as much as the skill player, but the skill player might need it in a different spectrum.
Yeah, as far as legs, speed of turn.
So, for a skill player, we need all 4 steering mechanisms, just like you. The shoulders, the hips, everything has to be on point.
Yeah.
You have to be able to articulate around to get to your opponent, and a wide receiver has to be able to do the same thing.
Yeah.
He's got to get the numbers to where the quarterback can hit him.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of different things that go into breaking down the athlete's position and making sure you're doing stuff that's position appropriate for them. But it's, it's getting more and more technical. For me, when I feel like I've almost got a perfect program,
I'm
like, no, we got to add this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And it's just continuously growing. and I'm loving it because the numbers don't lie. And if you're in a program that's not being measured constantly, you don't know where you're at.
Yeah, you might be raising numbers on the bar on the weight, but that doesn't mean coming up slower.
And that's that's why I'm so excited when you get back from your ACL.
Yeah,
what we can do. I want you to go into a fight knowing, hey, at any given moment I can drop an 800-pound bomb.
Yeah.
And you're confident.
And I felt like I feel like I'm strong for my body size. So
you are very strong for your body size.
So
I've seen you do it.
I lift a lot, but I don't know if you go through and lift. Like I saw the other day where I went back and saw a video of me doing like 265 on front squats, and I still came up pretty fast, but I don't know if it was like that speed that you would want it to be.
I guarantee you if we put it on a VBT unit, it would be in the strength realm.
Yeah,
it would not be in the power or speed realm.
And what do I want?
We want it to be right in between power and speed.
Got you.
Because we want we want the horsepower there, but we want it to be able to deliver quick enough.
Yeah. Even when I went to the UFC PI that first time, they tested all my stuff. Remember when I showed you talked to Bo Sandoval and they sent all the information? Like I was.
Yeah, Bo was like, these guys off the chart.
I was number one in every weight class up till 185. I was above all the 170s and almost everything. There was a couple of things where I wasn't, but I was like in top 1%. And the highest in everybody from 125 to 170.
Yeah.
All the way to until you got to 185, and that's when I stopped beating people.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. I felt like, and that was like timing explosion. He was like, man, you got to be able to be on the ground this much and create that much force, but still not be on the ground. You had to be on the ground at the shortest amount of time with certain stuff.
Right.
So I don't know if that was just like they didn't have a big enough pool of people doing it at the time, or
I don't know that they've had a pretty. They had a pretty decent pond when you got measured. So
I want to see what it would be like. Not immediately when I get done,
right.
But once I get back to where because I want to get my legs a lot stronger and bigger so that I don't tear something again.
Correct. Yeah.
Get my quads and hamstrings stronger and bigger, and then but not sacrifice too much weight to where it's harder on the weight cut. But and see what I can do then, and then like you said, make it to where it's the right strength, the proper strength, not just being strong to be strong.
Yeah, and that's the one thing too. I think that we, the gear that I've bought is portable, so no matter where you're at, I can bring it to you.
Yeah.
Or you can come to me, and we can get those numbers and keep them rolling, so that we know at any given moment, hey, your program's continuously advancing. You're not staying still. You're not being static. You're not going backwards. God knows that we never want that to happen. And I just think right now, you've met Daryl Horton, the paddleboard guy.
Yeah.
This guy's 50 years old, and he's gone from being competitive in his age bracket to now dominating like the top tier.
Is this in the world?
In the world, yeah.
Really?
He is up there. He's putting.
I've never met the guy, but I've seen pictures, and I remember making shirts.
He keeps getting faster, and every time I set a bar, he achieves it, and then we have to set a new one.
Yeah.
And God, if he can do that at his age.
What kind of workouts are you doing for paddleboard other than triceps and shoulders and maybe
all
some
triple
core?
extension. Because he's having to power down to the board to pull power up.
So is he doing the same thing as us with the?
It's pretty close. It's pretty close.
What is that, landmine thrusters?
Yeah, doing all kind of crazy stuff. But he's getting there, and his triple extension strength keeps getting more and more and more. And
so is he trying to base all his power coming off the board, or like pushing off the board and be able to use that, or what? So how you create triple extension without having to use your legs, or you're not having having a solid base really?
Yeah, if you watch them, they'll coil down, and then they'll extend.
Yeah. And
they'll pull.
Got you.
And the more efficient they can do that, the faster they can move.
I've been on a paddleboard before. It's so hard just to stand up straight, much less be pumping.
Oh, and they move fast too.
Oh, I believe it. There's a woman around here that when she's older, she wins all of her local ones. I don't know where else she travels to. She used to come do not MMA, kickboxing at the gym a long time ago. I need to introduce her to you and let her see what you're doing.
Because it's crazy how much you can get out of somebody that, especially if they're if they take good care of themselves and they're focused and driven,
Yeah.
I mean, age really is getting to be just a number.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting guys that are lasting into their 40s in professional sports.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just getting, physically better. They're getting more
Stem
mental.
cells.
And and
Science is getting a lot farther.
science is kicking it. And then at the same time, the benefit of an older athlete is their mental toughness
And knowledge.
because they've been through it.
Oh, there's so much that I wish that I knew now. Not even just mentally tough. Like I feel like I was as mentally tough when I started because I wasn't as good. So I had to be as mentally tough because I was getting beat up by people that were way better than me.
Yeah.
But I wish I knew all the techniques and stuff I knew now and could put it back in my 20-year-old body when I first started, and then see how I.
But you got to think, for you, your thing was, I wouldn't even put your work capacity was real high because you were a competitive person, period.
Mm-hmm.
But your work tolerance, which is to me different than work capacity, because work tolerance is outside of the realm of your sport. I mean, you're able to push your body way past that. And
what do you mean?
Like, you've got a certain amount, like less than a minute and a half in a corner, ATP really can't raise to full until about 3 minutes. But your work tolerance.
ATP is what creates energy in the body and the cells.
Well, yeah.
Through the
Anderson
mitochondria.
triphosphate is, that's the one, when you're banging for 8 seconds, that's what you're calling on.
Yeah, okay.
And then you go glycolytic after that. And then,
see, I did some biology, biological sciences.
And then all of a sudden you can't hold your hands up anymore because you're going too long. So
lactose starts to come in.
But your ability for your work tolerance is extremely high, where you can force yourself to keep going. I've seen you do it before. And
doing the fucking battle ropes and then the jumps and all this.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah, and those are the kind of things that I think as you get older, that tolerance gets tougher.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You're able to keep it because you felt it before, and you're like, hey, I can work through this. It's no big deal.
It hurts just as much, but you know that you're going to make it through.
Yeah, you can make it. You're not going to die.
Yeah.
You just keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it's one of those things where I think you're going to be a cool, project because you're on that seasoned side where you've got a lot of fight knowledge and a lot of sport knowledge, and you're kind of multiverse, because you've played a lot of different things, not just
fight, a lot of different sports.
So,
which mostly, as far as like baseball and I play golf, all includes everything coming from the ground, moving your hips through at the right timing. Because if you move your hips through too early, then you're losing your power. If you move them too late after your arms come through on baseball or golf,
I mean, anything. If you can't sustain the lag, you lose your power.
Yeah.
I mean, you have nothing on impact.
Yeah.
So, keeping that lag going in the hips till that right split second to where everything lands into that 4-inch by 4-inch pattern of your fist. I mean, that I don't think it can be taught, but I think that is still you're hardwired for that. That kind of timing where your central nervous system responds that quick under pressure over and over and over again. I mean, either you got it or you don't.
So tell me this. So you know how you always hear like, oh, well, you're a long muscle type or you're short, short. What do they call it? Not muscle, but fiber, short fiber type. Is that? Do you know if that makes a difference as far? Do you think
that's real? Like if you have a higher level of fast twitch muscle fiber, your response time is going to be a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Your endurance guys are going to be more of your slow twitch.
Yeah. See, and I feel like I'm an endurance guy though. I can run for days.
You do, but at the same time, I mean, you're built like a freaking Kenyan. I mean, seriously though. I mean, you can go for a long time, but you're able to react super fast, which is, a little bit of a hybrid. You've probably got a good balance.
I looked at the what's that 23andMe?
Yeah.
And on there, I think that has me as like can't remember exactly what it is, but it's like the super athletic type is It was the highest one that you could be.
Yeah.
So it had to be in that
I
one.
mean, just look at like when I had all those air combat control kids at Keesler when I was doing them. I mean, you were the perfect size for that. I mean, they're looking, they want you in that 150 range where you can go all day.
Yeah.
And you can run out of a situation if you have to.
Yeah.
And get picked up.
What I thought was
20
crazy.
miles away.
Yeah. See, what I thought was crazy is when I'd have fights coming up and I'd be in there weighing 140 and 142 and stuff like that. And my lifts from me being like 167 or 170, when I was weighing that and I was weighing 140 or 142, whatever, would be almost, I'd only lose like 10 pounds of strength over that. Wouldn't you think it would go down more than that? As far as my squats, I would only lose like 10 pounds of strength.
Yeah. I mean, you never really had a massive decrease.
Maybe I was just being lazy and fat to be 167 or 170.
Yeah, but I mean, like when you go back, are you going to try to stay in that weight class? Or you?
Yeah, I know. I've already fought back in it. And I did that on short notice. Everybody's talking. And I didn't do the whole 20 miles of running a day this time. For one, my knee was already messed up, so I couldn't.
Yeah.
But I dieted and did everything right, and I made the weight pretty easily. Now, like the last pound sucks coming off.
Yeah.
But that's every time. It doesn't matter if I'm cutting down to 145. The last pound always sucks because it's the last pound.
Yeah.
But no, I'm still gonna do 135 if I take short notice, and which Sean Shelby told me I shouldn't have to take any more short notices. He's the matchmaker, so
Good.
Then I should just be doing 135. But I made 135 on 2 week notice, so I feel like that's pretty good.
Cool. Yeah, I mean.
I also got TKO'd, so that's.
Yeah. But I mean, it happens, and you just got to go right back to the drawing board.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. That's the first time that's ever happened. I don't plan on it happening again.
You don't plan on it happening again.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to let that happen again. Period.
Yeah. So when coronavirus happened, you weren't able to. Were you still at D1 while that was happening?
Yeah, we were. I was. The facility coordinator at D1. Everything was kind of getting squashed at the time. And as we started developing I guess you say a corona protocol for athletes to do at home.
Oh yeah.
It was just.
Was it video wise, or you just tell them kind of like?
It was a little bit of video.
What was the thing that you had me on the email or?
Yeah, using our app, Train Heroic. I mean, we were, that was kind of I guess you would say, an eye opener for me that it could be done. And when we finally broke away from D1, Corona was in full bore, and there was a lot of athletes outside of the country that were in major shutdowns, and all of a sudden started getting requests for programming for, of all things, fighters, and a lot of females.
How did they know to contact you? Was it just off Instagram or what?
Yeah, it just all of a sudden one hit, and then it was like
was that mostly here or overseas? Or?
All overseas. I mean, I've got
that's crazy.
I've got them in really Canada. I got several in Canada, several in Finland. I've got Brazil, Moscow. Let's see, Israel, but that's motocross.
Yeah, oh.
But still, they're in situations where they're athletes. They don't want to get in a situation again where they're locked out of a gym and can't train, especially if they have a fight coming up. So they've converted like their living rooms, their garages to training areas. And if they've got the training protocol right there, they just carry it out themselves.
So how do they know they're doing everything the right way if they don't have the FTP or whatever you call it?
Normally, I'll do
FBT.
like video work with them.
Yeah.
And like I have shipped the VBT unit to them so that they can kind of get an idea of, okay, this is where my bar speed needs to be.
They've all shipped it back?
They all shipped it back. Yeah. And they're awesome because they want to do good. And it's really neat to see them buy into it. And it's almost like they're working harder because they
want to see the improvements.
They want to see the improvements, but at the same time they're like, well, I'm not in a gym, so I'm going to have to work even harder.
Yeah.
You know?
That makes sense.
And they really wind up working harder than they would if they had a plush big facility to go to.
Because sometimes you might be like, well, I'm beating him, so I'm doing good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And now they're just chasing their own red line.
Yeah. The only person you got to beat is yourself.
Right. And I would say right now my biggest clientele line is MMA online, and it keeps getting bigger.
Online.
Yeah, it just keeps getting bigger, and it's basically just the strength side. You know, they still, have their sparring coaches and their skill stuff that they have to do.
Different.
But the strength and conditioning side, I mean, it's easy for me once I figure them out how to, dial them up and keep them on point.
And not get them too heavy. Have you ever had a coach message you like, man, you're getting my fighter too big. It's going to make it hard to make weight?
No, actually I have Maria, my one from Canada. She just won her last fight, and I mean, she physically dominated the girl she fought.
Yeah.
And then she just signed yesterday a fight with Invicta.
Yeah, I saw that.
And she's, she just walks through people.
It's only one step away from the UFC.
Yep.
What's her record?
She's 5-0.
Nice.
And climbing. I mean, I don't see anybody slowing her down.
Yeah.
I mean, she has got a tremendous amount of force she creates.
She should only have to win 1 or 2 in Invicta, though. They take girls in the UFC early. You'll see some 2-0 and 3-0 in there. Now they might be like legit people, but if you get 2 wins in Invicta, you might be in there. And
she hits 135 like it's.
That's easy. Crazy. I fight at 135. I see that. I see girls on Instagram, and I'm like, there's no way that girl is as big as me.
Yeah, she'll drop from like 155 to 135.
I'm saying like muscle wise or height. Like I'm pretty tall for 135. Yeah. Like so when I see girls that are missing weight,
how muscular she is. She's a tough chick.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I mean, it's fun to watch them too because they're so. I mean, the ones that are sticking want it so bad.
Yeah. That's
all they do. I mean, they just grind for it.
Do you see a difference in having to do it for guys and girls? Do you see any difference in that? Not as far as like how many you have, but as far as like you have to train them differently.
The males have a tendency to, for some reason, their ego gets in the way, and they want to go a little heavier.
Oh yeah, and then it slows them down.
And it slows them down
Yeah,
too
that's
much.
gonna be me, 100%.
And once they really start seeing the number change and how it impacts how they actually fight, then they embrace it.
Yeah, take 5 extra pounds off.
Yeah, go ahead, cut it down. I want to move it even faster. I mean, but it's crazy. It's just I guess it's a guy thing.
Oh yeah, you always want to be doing the most.
Yeah, I gotta go. I could go so much heavier, but and then they see how slow the bar is actually moving on triple extension movement, and they're like, ugh, that's killing me. So it's cool. I mean, I think it's gonna really improve. Well, one thing it's going to improve a lot. As fighters get more in tune to their own kinematic sequence, and they can pull power super efficient without any crimps in the garden hose, you're going to start seeing a lot more knockouts.
Oh yeah.
I mean, especially in the female.
See that, and that's where you see like, if you watch a lot of female fights, if you watch Amanda Nunes, she's creating a lot of power from the ground.
Yeah.
But if you watch a lot of girls, it's a lot of arm punching.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still throwing as hard as they can, but they're not creating force from the ground. So it's more an arm punch, and it still might land kind of hard, but they're not putting their body weight into the punch and creating force to the ground.
Like I've noticed, a punch from just a torso punch without a lot of ground pull can rank anywhere from 175 to 350. Foot-pounds, which are pounds per square inch, versus when they actually drag it from the ground, it can generate up to 650.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the difference in knocking somebody out.
And how are you improving that speed because I know you can do that, like you said, at a slower pace, like you just load up and sit there and then, But how are you creating that speed to where
Yeah, you.
how are you doing that?
That's where VBT comes in play. Doing a lot of triple extension hip movements.
But how are you getting them to time it together so well?
Yeah, it's no different than like, sometimes when you go to do a power clean,
Yes.
all of a sudden when you catch it perfect, it's weightless.
Oh, exactly.
You know,
that's why I'm good at power cleans.
Yeah, the money was right there, the bar was right where it was supposed to be, and there was zero
Yes.
weight to it.
Yep.
But if the timing was off on the hip, if the hip closed before the upper body caught up with it, the bar caught up with it, all of a sudden you're catching 205 pounds and it's pounding you in the chest.
Same as when you hit a baseball or hit a golf ball.
Right.
When you hit it perfect, it's like you don't even hit it.
You don't even hit it. And I think it runs across the board on any sport. That hip lag and being able to time it efficiently is crucial. And I think as you learn more on how your body can generate power, it starts coming a lot more natural.
Yeah.
Now, some people, it just comes natural to them out the gate.
Conor McGregor all in. Now, in golf, they have the breakaway clubs. So if you're not doing everything right, you're not bringing your hips through, if you're not bringing your arms through the right way, the club will break and you won't be able to hit the ball. Right?
Correct.
Same thing with baseball. Can they not make something like that for a punch where if you're not timing your hips through and putting the power through at the right time, is there any way, if you come up with that, you're going to make money.
Yeah. And I think that's where bringing an impact wall unit in to where you can actually measure the impact. Because, for example, if you land a punch that is a bomb,
yes,
really you should feel nothing from it. And there's a lot of times you'll have a fighter go, well, I hit him so hard it felt like it broke my arm. And I'm like, that's because the power came back on you.
It's like punching a window. If you don't punch it hard enough, you feel it.
You feel it.
If you punch through the window and it breaks, you don't feel it at all.
Getting that timing down and getting that sequence of the hips to the torso is crucial. But I think, over time you start learning that timing, and once you get it down, you got it.
Yeah.
And
it's just tough to learn that by yourself.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have something to correct you. That's why I was saying if somebody can make something where if it connects your elbow like it's like a string or something, if you don't do it at the right time, it kind of stops you.
Right. And it's no different than putting them in 3D, like videoing them under 3D analysis where you're sitting there watching, does that hip close before the punch lands?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, if they can visually see it happening, I think that also could be a big help too.
Yeah.
And, that's one of the things bringing the PSI meter in for you and making sure that you're, all of a sudden, hey, we're any given time I'm dropping 800 pounds on you.
Yeah.
That gives you the confidence to know, hey, if I get a clean shot, this guy's head's coming off.
Yeah. That's what I want.
And, those are the kind of things I think, because really, once you get past that first round, it's willpower, confidence, and it comes down.
Yeah.
That first round was skill.
Yeah, first round skill. Now you got your cardio.
Yep.
Your will
and
your heart.
And knowing that you're capable of recreating that over and over and over again does kind of give you
That's Derek Lewis all day.
Yep.
All day. After the first minute, that dude's tired, but he knows he's got that power shot and he's going to save it.
He's going to save it. But yeah, I think it's going to be fun. And how far out are you now?
I've been 5 weeks since surgery. What's today? Tuesday. So 6 weeks will be on Friday, which means I think she said I can start to have it like how I have it now. Next week I can walk around with it where it's unhinged or where it can hinge instead of stay straight. Right now when I walk around I have to keep it straight. I think she said next week I can either switch to my other brace or wear this one and let it bend. But I'm not sure, 100% sure if that's next week or in 2 more weeks after that.
2 more weeks out.
I'm pretty sure she said next week, but I'm gonna text her and see.
Yeah, because we need to get that upper body rolling.
Well, yeah. Well, the only thing is my quads and my hamstrings are so small right now. I have to get those stronger, or else my ACL is going to tear again.
Yep.
Or everything. So do that, and then I've been wanting to do upper body, but I still don't have my bench in here. I got my weights in my bar, but I don't have my bench in there. I just need to go buy a bench and a rack.
Cool. Yeah.
'Cause I can't power clean or deadlift or anything like that, which I would be able to do without the rack.
Your rack, yeah.
But no, so we'll be able to do all that. All right, so what's the deal with American Top Team? I see you put it on your thing on Instagram. So
I met with
Donnie.
Donnie, he showed interest in it. I showed interest in it.
This is recently.
Like right before Christmas. And then
So it's not since we've talked about
right, and then he's, we're both wanting to do it.
Just busy.
It's just he's been in and out of the country. He was in Dubai for 2 weeks, and I was, trying to get.
But it's gonna happen. You think it's gonna happen?
I think so. Yeah, I think you'd be a good fit.
I mean, I'd like it. I hate driving a fucking mobile 3 times a week.
And also, I think we got Robbie there.
Yeah.
I mean, so we got a full spectrum.
Yes, that would be perfect.
I mean, if we got a whole team working, we could actually crank fighters out all day long.
That's what I'm wanting. Right now, the gym's like only technique. I want it to be like you got the top notch strength and conditioning, movement. Like you have the strength and conditioning. Robbie's doing some of that with them now, but I think he's more suited to the movement. And I think if you could put his movements with your strength and conditioning stuff, it's perfect.
I think if I brought Robbie's stuff in with our golf, it would, on a collegiate level, it would explode.
Yes.
I mean, because that's the other component that, a lot of things in that world are too soft. Their approach it too.
Yes.
And these are college athletes. They shouldn't be approaching it soft. I mean, they're trying to win big money.
And that's the good thing about Robbie is he's like you, where he didn't want to just work with older people or people that got hurt. They didn't do. He wants to do the sports thing, and he played sports. He played college football and everything. I believe. I know he played high school football. I want to say he played college football, but he's athletic regardless.
Yeah,
and
he wants
and
to
he
do it.
works with athletes.
Yeah.
So.
And he's putting in the time too.
Oh,
I mean,
100%.
the stuff he's doing.
They're doing stuff right now.
The stuff he did with, he put online, I think it was
Alan?
yesterday. No, it was doing the wrist extractions.
Oh, yeah.
That was, I hadn't seen
wrist
anybody
impingements.
post that. And for somebody to actually put it out there was great.
The wrist impingements.
Because that's one of the biggest.
Front squats, everything.
That's one of the biggest questions you get with high school athletes. My wrist won't go back, so I can't.
I swear, I have another pro fighter that, and him, he's coming up there and training, and he was talking about, man, it hurts because he was holding it. Oh, he had like a strap or something to it. I was like, why do you have that thing strapped? I saw it in this video we messaged. And I was like, man, you just got to make sure sit it on your shoulders, and it's basically like you don't have any weight right there. If you let your elbows go down, then all the weight goes on your wrist and it hurts. But so I'm sure that if he did those wrist impingements things, it would help.
I love the way he gets into detail with stuff like that. And most guys.
Do y'all talk at all?
We've gone back and forth, and we worked together when I had Parisi Speed School. He was interning when I had Parisi.
Was that at the big?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could open that back up.
And it's for sale.
I don't get that money.
But I've had several approach us about it, and it's just, God, it would take so much to pull it back up to speed. The whole foundation is split.
But so have y'all talked since then, talk about combining? Because I know you're trying to get in.
Yeah, I think Rob and I would be a good fit.
I do too. I think it'd be perfect.
I think I could swamp him so heavy with the collegiate golf world that he wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, he's not at the clinic that much now. He has to oversee a lot of stuff at the clinic, but he's not there hands-on working much. Right. So he has plenty of time. I feel like text that dude today.
Yeah. He sent me his number over Christmas, and I just, like I said, Donnie got super busy, and I got really busy with
tearing biceps and stuff.
Well, that and high school playoffs.
Yeah, did your son win state?
They won state last year.
Not this year.
Not this year. And but he's he's back at Spanish Fort now, so he's loving it. So I think it's going to be a big year coming up for him too. but we're getting after it.
Well, how do people find you on social media to try to get all this, to get in your, what do you call it, a program or?
Yeah, just go to Faster_Athlete on Instagram, and it'll all pop up.
Faster, and then you have a link on there for people to contact you or go to your page.
Go to my webpage. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
So they can get everything right there in the bio.
Well, hell, I appreciate you coming on and not standing me up this time.
No problem, man. I mean, finally, I got a little bit of a breather, though.
Man, I don't want to hear that. I used to drive to Mobile 3 times a week, and you couldn't make one time once.
Yeah, it was shoot. That was the difference in having to work for a company and working for yourself.
Oh yeah,
that's a big difference.
No, yeah. So
yeah, the freedom.
You make your own time, your own schedule.
Yeah, make my own schedule now.
It's even better when you have it online.
Oh yeah. I mean, and especially when half your people don't wake up till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Because they're all overseas.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, keep killing it, and I hope y'all end up at American Top Team, so I don't have to drive over there all the time. And, I mean, if I still got to drive over there,
but I think it's going to work out good. I mean, I think it's.
I'm going to talk to Donnie today.
Yeah, and I just think it would be a freaking incredible fit, especially with. I mean, this area looks like it's about to explode in the fight scene anyway.
I'm going to see if I can't get a lunch with me, you, Donnie, Robbie, and Mike next week, or 1 week coming up.
That'd be great. Make it happen. I'll come over.
All right. Well, take it easy, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Okay, what about this one, B? We got that, hey, sleight of hand, no magic tricks, and that adrenaline, well, that's the fix. Unless it gets my heart pumping, ain't no competition. Anybody who want it can come get some ambition, baby. Where there ain't no ceilings. If you feel some type of way, hey, get out your feelings. It's a duel like Yu-Gi-Oh! Max a million. Talking dollars, that's the minimum. The max a billion. Whoa, bees killer in my corner. We armed with them bars. Get the bump and set it off like alarms in them cars. Before you think about it, stop in the octagon. Before you end up getting dropped in the octagon. Respect is in order and you better respect it, or it's off with his head. Guillotines for breakfast. Good night. I done seen successes and my seed successors of this legacy. You're looking at a king, a legend.